Hello, good afternoon, investors and corporate. Welcome to Digital Roadshow First Quarter 2024 Performance Review. This section will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the section by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. And during Q&A, investor may review questions in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. So may I now invite PTT Exploration and Production Public Company Limited to start the presentation.
Hi, good afternoon, investors. Thanks for your interest in joining the Digital Roadshow with us, and we'll share with you the first quarter key achievements and operating result. Let me first introduce PTTEP's management here with us today. Khun Panporn Sasananan, our SVP for Finance Division. I will start off with the presentation, and then we can proceed with the Q&A afterward. Okay, first on the key overview of the company. So PTTEP is the E&P flagship under PTT Group with the market capitalization over $17 billion. And last year we had reported the sales revenue at $9 billion with the production volume at 640,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day. Our unit cost is quite competitive compared to peer at the average range of $14 per BOE, and last year we had paid the dividend yield at 6.4%. And the major shareholder at the moment of the company absolutely is PTT Public Company Limited, with 64% shareholding, and the rest of the shares are being floated in the Stock Exchange of Thailand, with local institution holding about 20% and foreign institution holding about 13%. Next, on the corporate strategy. So PTTEP is now focusing on 3 dimensions for the sustainable growth of the company. The first one is drive value, which is to strengthen our E&P portfolio by maximizing production from our existing assets, as well as the acceleration of exploration and development projects on hand. We aim to achieve the first quartile of the unit cost, which our current all-in unit cost is at the range approximately $28 to $29 per BOE. And we are on target for the gas expansion from the current level at about 72% to 80% over the medium to long term. So, and on the next part, we are we had put in place the net zero greenhouse gas emission target, which is target in the year 2050 for the net zero emission. And this would be the key enabler for this greenhouse gas net zero would be from the carbon capture and storage project. And the first 2 pilot projects are at Artit project in the Gulf of Thailand and Lang Laba project in Malaysia. We are also implementing other reduction initiatives and offsetting implementation. And the last part is the diversified one, which we are targeting for expansion into the new businesses for energy transition. And the first key areas that we are focusing on is the AI and robotic ventures, as well as the other renewable and other future energy opportunities like the hydrogen and the CCS as a service project. which we are under the study phase of the CCS hub in the northern part of the Gulf of Thailand, together with Thai government and Japanese and the private sector from Japan. And next page will summarize the capital allocation that we plan for each of the strategy pillar. The first one, which is drive value, over the next 5 years, we have allocated 31.5 billion US dollars, which the key activities this year would be on the G1 ramp up to 800 million scf per day, which we already achieved since 20 March. And G1 would be producing at this 800 according to the gas sales agreement and the commitment with the government for 10 years under the contract. And we are also pushed forward for the contracts extension of the key asset, that is contracts would end in the year 2028, which are Yadana project in Myanmar and contract 4 in the Gulf of Thailand. And the other key activities under this strategy would be to accelerate the monetization of the exploration and discovery asset on hand. And the mega project, which we are pushing forward for its FID within this year, is Lang Lebah project in Malaysia, or SK410B. And we are also planning for the first gas of SK405B in the next 5 years, which is now we are currently under the final development plan preparation. And the next project that would add to sales volume in the year 2026 would be the Abu Dhabi offshore 2 project in UAE, which we had made discovery 2 years back, and we are planning for the FID of the project within this year as well. And next, on the decarbonize, we have set aside the budget for 5 years horizon at 500 million US dollar. And 60% of this amount would be allotted for the carbon capture and storage project, which is about 300 million US dollar for Artit and Lang Lebah. And the last part on the diversify, we had set the provisional budget and the 5-year budget in total of about 2.6 billion US dollars for the expansion into the offshore renewable as well as other hydrogen opportunity. And we had acquired the Sea Green wind farm project in Scotland last year, which we are expecting for the acquisition completion within the second quarter this year. Next page will summarize the existing portfolio of PTTEP at the moment. So in the dark blue region, it represents the key focus areas of the company at the moment. The first country is Thailand, which is our home base. And sales volume from Thailand represent about 68% of total sales volume in the first quarter. And the key projects are G161 or Erawan and G261 or Bongkot project. And another project that PTTEP is the operator is Artit project, which when combining total production with G1 and G261, we are producing at nearly 2,000 million scf per day of gas. And we are also the partner in the Contract 4 project in the Gulf of Thailand and the MTJDA or Malaysia-Thailand Joint Development Area, which the gas from these 2 projects are also critical for Thai gas demand. And the next region is Southeast Asia, which we have 2 producing fields in Myanmar, namely the Sotika and Yadana project, as well as 3 producing oil and gas fields in Malaysia. And we also have the key projects that I mentioned that we are pushing forward for its FID within this year, which is Lang Lebah or SK410B. And this project initial gas production capacity is about 800 to 1,000 million scf per day. And the first production is expected in 2028. So currently for Malaysia and Myanmar, they contribute about 19% of total sales volume of PTTEP group. And in the Middle East, we have two producing fields in Oman, which are produced both the crude oil and gas. And we also have five exploration blocks in the UAE, and the most promising one is UAE Offshore 2 project, which we are planning for the FID within this year and first gas in late 25 or early 26. We also have other oil producing fields in Algeria, which are producing in total more than 30,000 barrels per day of oil. And in Mozambique, we have the LNG project, which Total Energy is the operator, and currently the project is still under force majeure. And we are closely monitoring the situation together with the operator and partners in the project to plan for the site re-access. And the pink area of this page are the key new business of the company at the moment. The first one that is in the Middle East, that we were awarded the green hydrogen project in Oman last year. And it is still currently under study phase, and the first production is anticipated in the year 2030. And another project is the offshore wind Seagreen wind farm acquisition, which the completion of this acquisition is expected in the second quarter this year. And this project has already started its commercial production in October last year, so it will generate the cash inflow for PTTEP immediately upon deal completion. And next page will summarize the key achievements of the company last year and the first quarter this year. So last year, under the new business part, we were awarded the green hydrogen project in Oman, as I mentioned, and we had acquired the Seagreen offshore wind farm stake in Scotland. And we had also signed the MOU with Total Energy for further collaboration in offshore wind investment in the future, as well as to exchange knowledge and experience in this kind of offshore wind project. And in the first quarter this year, G161 production has already hit 800 million scf per day, which is 10 days ahead of our schedule. And another key update in the first quarter is that Total Energy, who is the Chevron, who is partnered in the Yadana project, has decided to withdraw its investment from the Yadana project in Myanmar, and this has impacted the change in PTTEP participating interest from the project from 37% to 63%. And this will be effective from the 1st of April onward. And next is the summary of Thai gas demand, which for 2 months in 2024, total gas demand for the country stood at 4,600 million scf per day. And the supply that fill the country's demand are from domestic gas for about 61%, and the imported gas from Myanmar, which are the Yadana and Satika project, for about 11% or about 500 million scf per day. So you can see that gas from Myanmar is quite critical for the country's demand, and gas from Yadana and Satika project are also fed to electricity generating plants in Myanmar and contribute about 30% of Myanmar gas demand. Next on PTTEP gas price formula. So this is the summary of the gas price of the company. So you can see that for the project in the Gulf of Thailand and in Myanmar, The gas price will be based on the formula under long-term gas sales agreement with PTT, who is the gas buyer, and the first component is the base price. And this base price will be determined based on the overall cost of the project before we approaching the FID of the project. And this base price will be periodically adjusted based on three of the index. The first one is the oil benchmark, and the second one is inflation, and the third component is the FX rate between US dollar and Thai baht. So the adjusted component will be adjusted every 6 to 12 months based on the gas contract. And in the component of the oil index, for projects in the Gulf of Thailand, there are two parts: the projects under the old concession, as well as for the Myanmar project, the gas price will be linked to high sulfur fuel oil, while for the G1 and G261 project, which are under the new PSC scheme in Thailand, the gas price formula will be linked to Dubai price. And the bar chart on the right side of this page summarize the gas mix based on each of the linkage to the oil index of the company at the moment and forecast in the year 24 and 25. In the green part is the gas sales for Malaysia project, which is linked to JCC or the Japan crude cocktail, while the light green one represents the gas sales for the Oman project, which the price is fixed with 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3% escalation per year based on the inflation. And the line chart in the left side represent the blue line represent PTTEP consolidated gas price, which you can see that it is quite resilient. And as our gas price is mostly according to the gas price formula, then the fluctuation of the JKM has not impacted the company gas price. Next, on the financial fronts of the company, the first one that I'd like to highlight is the 5 years investment budget that we announced in December last year. So for the next 5 years, we have allocated 32.6 billion US dollar of the E&P budget for the organic asset, which include all of the exploration, development, and producing asset on hand. And you can see that the capital expenditure would range between 3 to 4 billion US dollar a year for the producing project in the dark green part. And the light green part would represent the capex for the development project, which will be quite high in the year 25 to 26, as we will be pushing forward for the first gas production of Mozambique LNG and SK410B along the Bar project in the year 28. So there will be much of the development capex for these two projects in the year 24 to 27. And the bar chart on the top represent productions volume of the company as well as sales volume. The gray shaded area is the production, which we are targeting for the CAGR over the next 5 years for at about 5%, which would give us the production volume over 800,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day in the year 28 onward. And the major growth in the next 5 years would be, the first one would be from G161 ramp up, as we already discussed. And the second one would be from the Abu Dhabi offshore 2, which are expected for the first gas during next year. And another major expansion would be in the year 28, when there are 3 projects lines up for first production, which are Mozambique LNG SK410B and Algeria Hasibara gas project for the second phase. And from the current sales volume of this year at about 500,000 barrel, we expect that this will grow to more than 580,000 in the year 2028. And next on the recap of the first quarter results of the company. So during the first quarter, we had reported a slight increase in the net profit from 514 million to 524 million US dollar. And looking at the profit from normal operation, actually it declined from the a decline in average selling price and sales volume offset and together with the increase in unit cost. However, the loss from non-operating item has also declined quite significantly in the first quarter compared to fourth quarter last year. Because in the fourth quarter last year, we have booked the impairment charge for Mozambique project and another project in Australia. While this quarter, that is not, there is no similar kind of that expense recorded. And if we compare the first quarter this year with first quarter last year, the profit and the net profit and profit from normal operation declined mostly from the average selling price and the increase in unit cost despite increase in sales volume. Next on the volume and price of the company. So normally our liquid price tracks to Dubai market price with $2 to $3 discount. In the first quarter this year, we had reported the gas price at $5.9 per MMBTU and liquid price at $79 per barrel. And this gives the weighted average selling price of the company at about $47 per BOE, which is a slight decline from the previous quarter. And our sales volume in the first quarter dropped slightly from the fourth quarter, mainly from project in the Southeast Asia, which is the Malaysia project, and the project from Algeria, which is the Hasibara gas oil producing field. While project in Thailand, the sales volume increased mainly from G1/61 ramp up. And the volume mix for the first quarter, we had still reported the gas mix at about 73%. And next on the unit cost of the company for the first quarter, we had reported unit cost at $28.96 per BOE, which is slight increase from the fourth quarter last year, mainly from the increase in operating expense and the finance cost of the company. However, we still expect that during this year, we should be able to keep the unit cost average for the year at about $28 to $29 per BOE, which will be slightly higher than the unit cost reported for last year, mainly from the increase in the D&A and the operating expense from the increase in the oil field contractor service rate in the market at the moment. And next page is the cash flow and financial position of the company. So during the end of March, we had reported cash on hand at $5 billion US, which represent about 74% EBITDA margin for the first quarter. And we had generated the net cash inflow for the first quarter at about $500 million US. And the debt profile of the company, the debt to equity ratio is at 0.24 times, which is well below our policy at 0.5. and we still have quite abundant of the debt headroom in case we are to have any sizable M&A. And for the average cost of debt at the moment is at 4% per annum with the 100% fixed rate. So we have no exposure to the market interest rate. And our debt are all in US dollar, which PTTEP is also preparing the financial statement in US dollar. So we have no exposure from Thai baht and US dollar fluctuation as well. Next, on the guidance for the second quarter and full year 2024. So we expect that the second quarter sales volume will increase from the first quarter based on the first full quarter production of G161 project at 800 million scf per day. And for the entire 2024, we expect our sales volume to be more than 500,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, which if you compare to the full year sales volume of 2023, our sales volume would increase quite significantly from G161 project ramp-up production. And on the gas price, we still expect the gas price for the second quarter and full year to be about $5.9 per MMBTU, which is mainly largely similar to the gas price reported during last year, and the unit cost should still be in the range of $28 to $29 per BOE, with the EBITDA margin at 70 to 75%. And this financial guidance is prepared based on the average Dubai forecast in 2024 at about $80 to $85 per barrel. So if there are any upside to the Dubai market price, this forecast might be adjusted upward accordingly.
The section has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณมากค่ะ